Days like this remind you why you fell in love with this team. An unexpected shift in the trenches. A front office move that opens the door for something big. And a rumor that could shake up the entire AFC. All that while the outside noise tries to write our story for us. But down here in Miami, we've never let anyone else hold the pen. This city's built on grit, faith, and fans who ride or die no matter what. What if the missing piece is already here, just waiting to explode? You're not going to believe what we've got today. So kick back, drop a like, and let's dive in. Subscribe now so we can hit that 1K mark and show what this fan base is made of. Hold on tight because this one changes the whole tone of the season and explains a lot of what we've been feeling deep down. Especially on those short third downs and drives where the defense stays on the field way too long. Early on, the plan was simple. Rookie Kenneth Grant would come in, clog the middle, close gaps, and command respect. Didn't happen right away. The NFL doesn't give you freebies technique, leverage, reads, pad level. But something flipped these past 2 weeks. Practices got smoother, the kid loosened up, and that hesitation turned into instinct. It might sound small, but when you're a rookie DT going up against seasoned vets who know how to use your momentum against you, that's everything. Week 6 gave us a preview, a sack and a few pressures that didn't make the highlight reels but showed up on tape. Then came the Browns' Game 5 tackles, one for loss. And a bunch of plays that shut down those easy 4 to 5 yard runs on first contact. Those snaps don't trend online, but they keep the defense alive. Word from inside the building is that it all started in practice, with Grant trusting his technique, playing lighter mentally, and finally letting his body sync with the scheme. Once that happens, your hands hit faster, your first step shows up, your rip move lands cleaner, and gap control turns from assignment to reflex. There's still a road ahead. The pass rush has to level up. Pate pressures and 1.5 sacks in 7 games isn't scaring anyone, but it's a start. For a 3-tech learning to bounce between alignments and sometimes playing nose, it's about hand timing, hip angle, and reading slide protection. That's what the coaches are drilling. Challenge the guy, raise the bar, and demand consistency against the run while pulling out those athletic flashes we saw in college. Against Cleveland, you could see it closing laterally. Reading the backside cut, short burst explosion through blocks, now he's got to stack that. 2 weeks don't make a trend. 3 or 4, then we're talking real momentum. So what's the ripple effect for the defense? If Grant locks down the middle, Miami stops bleeding yards on early downs, forcing teams into second day and 8 or second day and A9. That's huge for the coordinator. It opens up the creative pressures on passing downs without exposing you to screens and draws. It also frees the linebackers to flow clean without getting swallowed by climbing linemen. It's a domino effect. Third on long, edge rushers breathe. The secondary can play tighter on their first steps, and the defense finally stops carrying the whole game. Fans are already noticing. The comments say it all. Finally playing like a first-rounder. Let's see him do it against a real O-line. If he plugs that middle, our defense is back. It's the right energy. No overreaction, no doom talk. Just steady growth, snap by snap. Grant was a first-round pick for a reason. Motor strength. That late-season grind you need when the trenches turn mean in November and December. Next step? Make those flashes routine. Low pads, violent hands, fast reads, no loss of contain. And that's not even the biggest story of the day, because something behind the scenes just shook up the cap and showed this front office is thinking bold. Here's the deal. When a team tweaks the books, it's usually setting the table either for breathing room or for a move that's coming soon. The restructuring of Jordan Brooks' contract does exactly that. It turns part of his base into bonus, frees up instant cap space, and sends a clear message of trust to a guy who's become the backbone of this defense. This isn't an empty move. It's a sign the front office sees value right now, keeping the locker room steady while adding flexibility at a time when other teams are looking for bargains. What if that space is the spark for a chain reaction? Context matters. A roster under pressure needs 2 kinds of oxygen, time on the field and cap space off it. The latter helps you survive injuries, patch sudden holes, and keep your core intact. Brooks fits that bill perfectly. Sideline range, steady production, and clean reads that stabilize the middle. Restructuring him isn't kicking problems down the road. It's protecting a sure thing while buying time to fix what hurts most: early down efficiency and gap. Discipline. With a little cap relief, the coordinator can get creative. Maybe bring in a rotational DL for short yardage, a sub-package specialist, or a hybrid guy who adds pass rush juice. Then there's the locker room message. When uncertainty hits, players watch how the team treats its pillars. By securing Brooks, Miami shows it rewards consistency and leadership. That resonates. Vets feel backed, rookies see a blueprint. It also shuts down the fire sale noise. Teams that panic lose control of their own story. Teams that choose who stays, who goes, and why they keep their identity. Think about it. If the Dolphins were tearing it down, Brooks would be a trade chip. Instead, he's an anchor. That shifts the whole mood in the building. Strategically, freeing space now doesn't mean you have to spend it now. It gives you options. Maybe you take on a useful player from a selling team. Maybe you lock up one of your own long-term. Or maybe you just keep your cap healthy enough to handle injuries without scrambling. Fans can tell when a team's reacting versus planning ahead. This move screams preparation, especially this close to the trade deadline. If a perfect fit appears a cheap run stopper, a solid nickel DB Miami can pull the trigger without losing balance. On the field, Brooks' stability opens doors for more disguised fronts and simulated pressures. That's key when your interior rush is still maturing. If your Mike and Will are synced up, the coordinator can shift safeties late. Force checks to runs you're ready for. Suddenly you're looking at second and long instead of a defense gasping for air. As for the fan base, mixed but grounded. Some want a splash trade now. Others prefer to build the base first. But this isn't about fireworks, it's engineering. The spark that holds the bridge while the rest of the structure comes together. And still, that's not even the wildest part of the day, because the trade buzz around a certain big name is heating up. And a lot of outsiders think South Florida is about to fold under pressure. But hold up, this next part's unreal. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. When a name like Jalen Waddle hits the national rumor mill, it's not just about talent. It's about value, timing, and how you protect the core identity of the Miami Dolphins. You've got people tossing around can't refuse offers, stacking draft picks, and throwing in young wideouts as sweeteners. Sounds tempting on paper. But paper doesn't play on Sundays. Here's the truth. Giving up an elite playmaker in his prime, one who dictates coverage, stretches the field, and keeps drives alive, comes with a cost that mid-round picks don't replace. Forget the numbers for a second. Waddle changes structure. He forces safeties to back off, clears lanes for the run game, and turns basic concepts into explosive plays. Trading proven production for potential is rarely the move when your offense still needs stability to protect the defense from overwork. Chemistry matters too. Shipping out your technical leader mid-season doesn't say strategic rebuild. It says panic. And this fan base won't tolerate that. Now, about that rumored deal, multiple picks and a young receiver in return. On paper, maybe. In reality, you're gifting another team a ready-made WR1 while betting your offense on a rookie learning NFL spacing. It's disguised coverages and life speed separation. And don't forget the contract part. Keeping a star like Waddle, even with an extension looming, is a good problem, the kind of problem winning teams deal with. Trading him for draft capital is a roll of the dice when conviction should be the call. From a football standpoint, keeping Waddle preserves everything that makes this offense dangerous. Bunch sets with switch releases, deep crossers, shredding zones, late motion forcing miscommunication, all of that collapses defenses and keeps you out of 3-and-outs. Take him out and defenses press the line, go physical, and dare you to win without speed. You lose the dual threat vertical and horizontal land, suddenly your margin for error shrinks. Fans are split between fantasy and reality. Some want the big package. Others know better. You don't replace a playmaker like that with a draft pick. The real conversation is how to unlock him even more. Consistent protection, creative mismatches in the slot, and layered routes that stress defenses from top to bottom. The front office needs to protect the project, not poke holes in it. Want more draft capital? Make surgical moves around the edges, not at the foundation. If there's noise, turn it into fuel. If there's pressure, make it expensive. The message is simple. In Miami, stars who define coverage are part of the solution. And that's still not the end of it. Because what comes next is the turning point where pressure turns into purpose, and the whole Dolphins Nation moves in sync. Take a breath, Dolphins fans. Everything we've seen today points one way. When the trenches start holding up, when the locker room gets the right message, when the front office protects its playmakers, the tide shifts. The defense wakes up, the offense breathes, and the identity comes back to life. Now, it's all about focus, execution, and conviction. The question is, what do you want more, the empty shine of a perfect trade package, or the real strength of a team growing together when it matters most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share it with another fan who needs to believe again. Subscribe so we can hit 1K and prove what this fan base is all about.